Hi there, welcome back. How are you today? So today I wanted to share this gorgeous quote I found on Facebook. Just things keep popping up and they're just so beautiful. I want to share them and then see what information comes through. It's about our anger. So, a monk decides to meditate alone, away from his monastery. He takes a boat and goes to the middle of the lake, closes his eyes and begins to meditate. After a few hours of unperturbed silence, he suddenly feels the blow of another boat hitting his. With his eyes still closed, he feels his anger rising, and when he opens his eyes, he is ready to shout at the boatman who dared to disturb his meditation. But when he opened his eyes, he saw that it was an empty boat, not tied up, floating in the middle of the lake. At that moment, the monk achieves self-realization and understands that anger is within him. It simply needs to hit an external object to provoke it. After that, whenever he meets someone who irritates or provokes his anger, he remembers the other person is just an empty boat. I loved this quote so much when I read it, and it resonated so strongly in my heart. Let me know in the comments below how this quote makes you feel, what is coming up for you as you read this quote. Because it's right there. He was ready to shout at the boatman who dared to disturb his meditation, only to discover that it's an empty boat that just wasn't tied up. It's such a beautiful quote. It brings up so much for me. Understanding that when the anger arises, it's never about the situation that you are looking at in that moment. It's never about that. That situation, that person that made you angry in this moment is serving you. They're showing you that there is something inside of you that you are still holding on to that is creating this anger. And how is this anger created in the first place? Do you ever stop to think? Where did it come from? We aren't born angry. We aren't born sad. We aren't born afraid. When we are born, we are just love. And somewhere along the way, something happens to us that creates this fear within us, that creates this anger within us, or that creates this sadness within us. Now, remembering that we are here to have a human experience and that we had to leave our love behind. In that moment where that anger is created. So let's just stick to the anger. You can replace it with the word fear if that is your predominant feeling, or sadness, whichever one it is. We tend to choose one over the others more for some reason. For me, it was anger. I spent a huge portion of my adult life angry, full of resentment. So what happens? Something in our childhood happens. There's an event. And perhaps this situation happens over and over and over again. It creates a pattern within us. And when these things happen to us, we decide things about ourselves. We decide that we're not worthy of love. We decide that we're not good enough. We decide that we don't deserve. And with these beliefs that we begin to create about ourselves, when you create a belief that's not the truth of who you are, one of these beautiful things is going to show up to remind you that you created this belief. When you decide that you're not worthy of love, anger will keep showing up for you to remind you that you put this belief in place. That you're not worthy. And the funniest one is to not be worthy of love when this is what we are. I find that the funniest one. That we don't deserve love, we're not worthy of love. How can that be so when this is who we are? This is what we're made of. We are made of love. How can you not be worthy of what you're made of? But it is the illusion, it is what we came to experience. That we are somehow separate from this love. Abandoned, left here to fend for ourselves. All of it is an illusion, it's not the truth. So the anger that you feel when someone is rude to you, when someone is dismissive, when someone ignores you, doesn't acknowledge you, all of the different situations and scenarios that show up for you day after day, to show you that this anger is still in your system, or is in your system, because you may not have done anything yet to resolve this anger, to look at this anger. You have just spent your whole life reacting with this anger every time something comes up, to remind you that way, way back you decided that you aren't worthy. How does that make you feel to not be worthy of someone's love? Especially if it's the person that brought you into the world. It hurts to think, to believe that this person doesn't love you. It makes you angry. How can they bring me into the world and not want me? Why did they bring me into the world if they didn't want me? What was the point? But it was all for you. Everything that happened for you. You came to have this gorgeous experience, this rejection, that you may know what it is to not be loved. In your natural state, you are so loved. And this is all you know. So what does it feel like to not be loved? What does that feel like? It is never the other person. It is never your partner that's the problem. It is never your children that's the problem. It is never your parents that's the problem. We point our finger all day long that it's their fault. We blame others for our anger, for our unhappiness. all the while you came here to know, what does it feel like to not be loved? What does it feel like to not be love? What does that feel like? When you understand that you are the problem and you are the solution, that anger will dissipate. It was always you. It had nothing to do with anyone else. And when these beautiful beings gift you with that moment where that anger arises, it's an opportunity for you to look at yourself. What do I believe about myself that this anger is coming up now? What is this anger trying to tell me? It's not about the other person. It was never about the other person. One of my favorite quotes by Mother Teresa. I should have written it down. It's another long one, like the one of the monk. But it says all these things about, people are going to be envious of what you do. Do it anyway. People aren't going to be grateful for what you do. Do it anyway. Be kind. Whether other people appreciate that or not, be kind. Be honest. Whether other people appreciate that or not, be honest. There's all these things that she says to do, to be your authentic self. And the two last lines, the lines I love the most, is that it was never about you and them. It was never about that other person. It's always about you and God. That's all that exists. God is in all of these other people that are affecting you, that are making you angry, that are giving you this experience of not feeling loved, not feeling wanted. You came to have this experience. God was a huge yes when you asked. I will find the beautiful quote by Mother Teresa, my favorite quote. I will put it up here. And you can read it as we go along. I can't remember it off the top of my head. I do remember the last two lines because they're my favorite. It was never about you and them. It was always about you and God. So today I'd love you to sit with this beautiful message from Spirit. If you are still angry, look at yourself today. What beliefs have you put in place about yourself that make you angry? Are you not good enough to be with the one you love? I know that was me for a very long time, and it took a really long time to understand that that was the purpose of that relationship, to show me that I was always good enough. But you can come to that realization at any time. You don't have to end a relationship to understand this. You are worthy. You are more than worthy of love. Love is who you are. Love is what you are. It's what you're made of. There is no question of whether you deserve love or not. God loved you so much. He created this beautiful world for you to come and know. To come and know what it is to not be love. because love is what you are. That is how loved you are. So this is a beautiful video for you to reflect, to look at yourself, to look at all the beliefs you've created about yourself, and then observe each belief and look at how that belief has created your life up until this point in time. Look at all the things that have happened because of that belief that you put in place. All the things that came into your life to show you what you were believing about yourself. So, my beautiful beings, the anger is a gift to you. It shows you in every moment when you feel angry, or you feel afraid, or you feel hurt. It shows you something that you believe about yourself, the belief that you created to have this human experience. And only you can know if it's time to release that belief. Is it time to heal? Is it time to let that go now? Or is it still serving your human experience? If it is still serving your human experience, then enjoy your human experience. Know that this is what you came to do in this lifetime. To know this so fully that your soul has all the information it needs of what it feels like to not be worthy, of what it feels like to not deserve, of what it feels like when you're not good enough. All right, my beautiful beings, remember, the other person is just an empty boat. It's an opportunity for you. The anger was always inside of you, way before that person and that situation appeared. All right, my beautiful beings, I love you guys. Remember to click like and subscribe so you don't miss any of the messages. And share the beautiful videos, share these beautiful messages with others. Bye for now.